Yo, so it is what a rush. And people, these fights epitomize that sentiment to a plumb because, god damn, right? Now, featherweight clash, Ricardo Ramos and Chepe Mariscal, right? Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal. This fight was bananas. This fight was bananas, right? Like, I was working Saturday night and I came home and this was fight was just about to start. And what a fight to really, you know what I mean, get into things with because, oh, it was the fight you thought it would be, right? It was the fight you thought it would be. It went to a decision, but it was crazy, right? Chepe comes at you like you disrespected his mother, right? Like you took his sister out on the date and dined and dashed her. That's how Chepe comes at you. Like you have really disrespected him. Like you can hit him with something, he just shrugs it off, right? Like Ramos did land some good punches, did land some good shots, right? At one point, he hit a nice spinning elbow and a spinning back fist, right? He'd been kind of trying to set those things up throughout the evening. You know, he'd missed a few, but then he finally landed a couple. Didn't do a thing, right? Didn't do a thing. Chepe was just like, and what, motherfucker? And what? You know what I mean? Just came forward. And it's all about combinations, right? Chepe was throwing with ferocity and frequency. The two F's, right? That's what he was doing. Effing it up, baby. Chepe was just bringing the heat. Bringing the heat. And you know, he's he's on a streak. Chepe is on such a fucking streak. It is crazy. It's like, you know, his next fight is definitely going to be, you know what I mean, like big competition. That's going to be the next fight. And I don't know who's going to want to take that, right? I don't know who's going to want to take that fight because, you know, when you, and don't get me wrong, no one in the UFC is scared, right? Whenever people be like, yo, homie was scared, homie's not taking that fight because, no. No one is scared, right? These are professional motherfuckers that know how to throw down. But, right? But when you get that contract through and you see Chepe Mariscal there, you're going to be like, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. Because you know you can throw everything at him and it's not going to stop that relentless onslaught, right? He's gonna keep going. So where some people think, oh man, yeah, if I catch him, I'm gonna knock him out. I don't know if you can knock Chepe out, right? I don't know if you can do it. So, boy, I cannot wait to see Chepe's next fight. But I think it was Anik that said it. I don't think Chepe's going to be on the prelims again. I think Chepe's going to be straight up main card, right? He's going to be the main card, or if he is on the prelims, He's going to be the featured bout, right? He's going to be the bout leading into the pay-per-view, leading into the main event, because they know if you've got him fighting, that's going to get people wanting to be like, fuck, if that was the fight, the last fight on the prelims, what's the main card going to be like, right? So that's what's going to happen with Chepe going forward, I can imagine. You know, so that was the first of our what a rushes. Next up, we have two fights that, oh my God, like you wouldn't be surprised if they do, if they don't end up in the UFC Hall of Fame, because Hyder Amil against William Gomis, featherweight bout, and this was ridiculous. It was a split decision, right? So our next two fights were both split decisions, you know, both split decisions. We're in the main card now, and I picked Gomis, right? Because he's got the length, right? He's very good at slipping shots, at slowing the action down. Good jab, right? Can take it down. He was good on the ground. So I thought, yeah, he can take it. Now, you knew Hyder Amil, he's a buzzsaw, right? He's a buzzsaw. And, yo, he was a fucking buzzsaw, man. Like, Gomis, he did well in the first round. Gomis did well in the first round. I gave the first round to Gomis, right? But Hyder was just relentless. You know what I mean? Hyder, like, he just came on so strong and was throwing combinations, landing a lot to the body. And you could see that work paid off, especially in the third round. In the third round, I think he took Gomis down. And Gomis, you know, he was able to shrug things off early on. And in the third round, he was just a lot slower, right? He was no way giving up, right? He was always in the fight. But you could see that the pressure was like, fuck, dude, give me a second. You know what I mean? And Amil, man, it looked like he could go another 3. At the end of this, it looked like he could go another 3. And after what we saw Saturday night, I think the ceiling is mad high for Hyder Amil. I mean, if I was him, I'd want to, you know what I mean, get the next fight booked real soon, you know, because I think the more he fights, I just think that's just going to be so helpful, right? He's not young, you know, so he needs to, I'm not saying he's old either, but you know what I mean? I don't think you want to fight several times a year. It's not a 1 fight a year, even 2 fight a year situation. You want at least 3. And I think as we're in March now, so, I don't know, man. International Fight Week, maybe? Yeah, I think International Fight Week, possibly. You know, that's June, I think. Right? I believe that's June, not July. So that would make sense, you know, and I think you could have him on that card. Definitely, because if this was in a stadium, right, if this was in a big arena, motherfuckers would be going crazy with this fight, because it was back and forth. It was relentless. It was fucking fun. You know, Gomis doesn't really lose any stock. He didn't look terrible. He looked good. It was just, Hyder was just on point, right? Hyder was just bringing it. And I say, Gomis, it was a split decision. He definitely, I thought, took the first round. It was just a relentless pace of Amil. But yeah, that was so fucking fun. And our last fight in this section, again, so fucking fun, right? It was weights. It was Nasrat against Esteban Ribovics. And going in, I thought Ribovics, right? I thought Ribovics. Like, when you look at his previous performances, he has been phenomenal. And I'm not gonna lie, right? I did kind of feel at the end, Ribovics had just taken it, right? I'm gonna put my phone on silent. I forgot to do that. Yeah, I thought he had just eked it out. Right? It was a split decision. This was a split decision fight, right? We went 29-28, 28-29, and 29-28. But Haqparast was fast, right? Haqparast was really fast. And I think what it was, Haqparast landed the heavier shots. It's not like he landed the most shots, but I think his shots did a lot of, they were heavy, right? So they did a lot of that. He cut Ribovics open early. Now, I think Ribovics opened up Haqparast, but, you know what I mean? It was Haqparast's shots that were the heavy ones coming through. So it was so fucking fun. It was so fucking fun. And I think, you know, Haqparast has had one of the best performances of his career, right? Like, he looked so much better than his last fight. You know what I mean? And we're going to talk about it coming up, right? But there were several fighters on this card who looked so much improved from their previous fight, which then just goes to show you can't just be like, oh, in their last fight, you know, they were easily taken down. In their last fight, they gassed out. In their last fight, you can't really do that. Because at this level, people are constantly looking to improve. I think the only time you can be a bit more like, yeah, you know, is when you've got your veterans, right? You've got people, they're getting up in their age. They've had so many fights. You kind of go, okay, well, they're not really changing their style too much, right? They're not suddenly, if they've never kicked before, throwing in mad head kicks, or if they don't take people down, they're not suddenly introducing that. You know what I mean? For the most part, we have seen some people make changes that are like, whoa, you know? Like Rob Font recently has been looking so fucking sharp. But for the most part, you know what I mean? But, yeah, Haqparast, so fucking good. Looked so fucking good. But this was a fight. This was a fun fucking fight, people. It really was. So, yeah, that is it for What a Rush. And as I said, Haqparast, Ribovics, and Amil Gomis, those two were so back and forth. And they were split, so they were so close. So close that those fights could be in the UFC Hall of Fame. Now, the Ramos Mariscal was a great fight, but it was pretty much all Mariscal, right? Like, at no point did you really think Ramos was going to be able to win that fight. Right? After that first round, you just saw what Mariscal was doing, you know? But yeah, all of them were great fucking fights. So what a rush.